Turn-based strategy games, one of my favorite genres and one that I consider myself an expert in. Today I want to bring you guys 15 turn-based strategy games that I think are some of the best in the industry. And did I mention I'm talking about ones that are available on mobile? Yeah. And I run the gauntlet on these. I have casual ones all the way to the most extreme and darkest ones out there. So no matter what type of a gamer you are, there's going to be something on the list here today that you're going to fall in love with, if you like the genre. And at the end of the video, as always, I'll be sure to let you know my 2 favorites from the list. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. Now let's dive in to number 1. And number 1 is Knighthood, which blends classic turn-based combat with a stylish medieval fantasy presentation that feels polished from the moment you start playing. Instead of controlling a full party, you build your own customizable knight and pair them with powerful heroes that unleash abilities during battle. Combat, it's easy to understand, but surprisingly strategic once you begin chaining hero skills, gauntlet bonuses, and gear effects together. The game constantly rewards progression, making every update feel impactful and addictive. Visually, Knighthood uses a bright, cartoon-inspired art style with highly detailed armor sets and flashy combat animations that pop on your mobile screen. The soundtrack leans into heroic fantasy themes, while battle sound effects give every hit a satisfying impact. It's primarily an online experience with guild systems, PvP arenas, raids, and cooperative boss fights, giving the game a strong social element that keeps players invested for a long time. I know, I'm always telling you guys some of the best mobile games to play. I'm that guy that brings you all the information. And today I want to share with you one that I have been playing now for over 2 years that I love so much that I started a new YouTube channel just to share information about this game with you. The game I'm talking about is Raid Shadow Legends, my favorite turn-based strategy game that I literally play every single day. And I'm telling you because right now is an amazing time to download the game. I have a QR code up top, I have a link in the description, and they give you some insane rewards. But before I tell you, I need to thank Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring the video. So Raid just hooked me up. They changed my code to give you guys even better rewards. They're going to be giving us Tholin, who is an amazing nuker inside of the game, one that I personally love myself. You're going to get him on day 1 just from using my QR code or my link. Then you're going to earn yourself 3 epics as well, one of which I absolutely love. That's Uugo. She is just amazing into the end game. And then using code WRATH, you're going to get Grandok Padrig. I like to call him the old man. Check out this guy's ratings. He's absolutely insane, and he's gonna be a big support buffer for you and your team. Between Tholin and the old man, you're gonna take down all content and have no problems whatsoever. Earning those champions alone is an amazing reason to play Raid Shadow Legends. So get yourself into the game so that you can be ready for the incoming events that are gonna be dropping, and I can tell you exactly how to get the most out of the game so that you can be a beast on your account. So download Raid Shadow Legends with my link or my QR code, get yourself some insane day 1 champions, and play alongside of me. And maybe in time when your account grows and you become a strong player, you could even come join my clan. I'll see you guys in Raid Shadow Legends and over on my other YouTube channel, linked in the description. Next up we have Dragonstride Legacy Reborn, which many of you may know from its previous name, Dragonair Silent Gods. Dragonstride focuses on heavy squad building and tactical positioning combat, traditional turn-based mechanics with cinematic fantasy storytelling. Battles revolve around elemental interactions, cooldown management, and team synergy, rewarding players who carefully build balanced lineups instead of relying on brute force alone. The game is very classic RPG adventure feeling with large maps, progression systems, and collectible heroes that gradually evolve over time. Its art direction mixes anime-inspired character design with dark fantasy environments filled with dragons, ruins, and magical kingdoms. The orchestral soundtrack helps sell the epic atmosphere, especially during larger boss encounters. Most of the game is online focused with multiplayer guild features and seasonal content, though there's also a substantial PvE campaign for solo players who just want to enjoy the world and story at their own pace. Did I mention that this game is actually stunning with its graphics? Maybe some of the best graphics of all the games from the list today. Grimgard Tactics is up next, and this one delivers a darker, more tactical take on the genre with grid-based combat that feels inspired by classic RPG strategy. Every moment matters here, and positioning your units correctly can completely change the outcome of a battle. The game emphasizes careful planning over speed, making it extremely satisfying for players who enjoy deep tactical gameplay and difficult encounters. Visually, this one leans heavily into the grim, dark fantasy aesthetics and mood lighting, heavy armor designs, and atmospheric battlefields. Combat effects are sharp and impactful without becoming visually overwhelming. Its graphics overall, in my opinion, are decent at best. The soundtrack is dramatic and ominous, reinforcing the dangerous world the game creates. It's largely an online driven with hero collection systems and live events, but the strategic single-player battles are easily its biggest highlight. Summoner's War may be one of the most OG games from the list here overall today, remains one of the kings of mobile turn-based strategy thanks to its enormous monster roster and incredibly deep progression systems. Players collect hundreds of monsters, build unique rune combinations, and create highly specialized teams for PvE dungeons, PvP arenas, and guild wars. Even after years in the market, the gameplay loop remains addictive because there's always another monster build or strategy to experiment with. The art style here is colorful and iconic, featuring memorable creature designs that range from cute mascots to terrifying dragons and demons. Sound effects during combat are satisfying and fast-paced, helping keeping battles feel energetic despite being turn-based. The game is heavily online focused like the others, and competitive multiplayer is its core. And its esports scene and constant updates are major reasons that it's maintained such a loyal player base for over a decade. Next up, we have one that you probably haven't heard of before. I'm talking about Hexapolis Civilization Wars. This one takes a lighter, more approachable look at strategy gaming by combining turn-based empire expansion with simplified civilization building mechanics. Players capture territories, expand cities, manage resources, and strategically move armies across the hexagon maps. It's easy to jump into, but still offers enough tactical depth to keep strategy fans engaged for hours. The minimalist art style is colorful and clean, making it extremely readable on mobile devices. Nothing's cluttered up here. Battles and expansion feel fast and rewarding, which makes the game perfect for shorter play sessions. Music and sound design are relaxing rather than intense, creating a more casual strategy experience compared to hardcore tactical RPGs. The game works well both online and offline, making it one of the more accessible strategy titles on the list today. Now, for those of you that like tower defense games, this may be one of the best because Watcher of Realms definitely leans heavily on that element. It combines hero collection mechanics with strategic combat and large-scale fantasy boss encounters. While it incorporates tower defense, as I mentioned, team comps and turn-based planning are still central to its success. The game excels at making players feel powerful through massive ultimate abilities and cinematic battles against giant enemies. The graphics are one of the game's biggest strengths, featuring highly detailed hero models and dark fantasy environments that feel surprisingly high-end for mobile. Voice acting and the music in the game help give the game a premium presentation. It's a heavily online-focused title with guilds, competitive modes, regular events that constantly introduce new heroes and challenges. And honestly, my opinion here is the biggest highlight is the whole tower defense element that it has to it. All right, we got another OG for you on the list. I'm talking about Marvel Strikeforce. How do you have this list without Marvel Strikeforce? It's essentially a dream game for Marvel fans who love team building strategy games. Players assemble squads of iconic heroes and villains like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Loki, Thanos to battle through campaign missions and competitive PvP modes. The fun factor comes from experimenting with team synergies and watching famous Marvel characters unleash flashy cinematics attacks together. The game's visuals are highly polished with comic-inspired character models and explosive special effects that make every battle feel dramatic. Voice work and sound effects are excellent, helping capture the feel of the Marvel Universe. Since it's built around live service content, the game is heavily online focused with alliances, raids, and constant evolving meta changes that keep longtime players engaged. Infinite Magicraid mixes traditional turn-based combat with idle RPG mechanics, creating a game that feels both strategic and relaxing. Players build teams of heroes with different factions, abilities, and then optimize their formations for PvE progression and PvP competition. It's designed to be highly rewarding, even for casual players, making progression feel steady and satisfying. The game features vibrant fantasy visuals with smooth skill animations and highly stylized character designs. Battles move quickly, which help keep grinding enjoyable instead of repetitive. The soundtrack, well, it's energetic and heroic, complementing the game's fast-paced combat. Online guild content and competitive modes add longevity, though the auto battle systems make it easier to enjoy in shorter sessions. Now I figure it's time that we bring some true anime into the list, and I'm talking about Honkai Star Rail, which its first year out won the #1 game at the Mobile Game Awards that year. It's one of the highest quality turn-based RPGs ever released on mobile, combining traditional JRPG combat with massive production values and cinematic storytelling. Combat revolves around exploiting enemy weaknesses, carefully timing ultimates, and building balanced teams for 4 characters. Despite being approachable for newcomers, the combat system has enough strategic depth to satisfy hardcore RPG fans. The game's anime-inspired visuals are, let's be honest, they're stunning, featuring beautifully designed science fiction worlds, cinematic cutscenes, and incredibly polished character animations. The soundtrack is phenomenal, ranging from emotional orchestra pieces to energetic battle themes that elevate major story moments. While primarily online, it plays very much like a single-player JRPG adventure with optional multiplayer-style systems layered on top. Now, sticking with the anime, I gotta tell you guys about Etheria Restart, which is a game that I actually spent a lot of time playing. It's a stylish, turn-based strategy RPG that blends futuristic cyberpunk aesthetics with deep squad-building strategy. Players assemble teams of powerful Animus characters, each with unique skills, elemental affinities, and combat roles that create strong synergy opportunities during battle. Combat focuses heavily on timing abilities, manipulating turn order, and applying debuffs and countering enemy compositions, giving the game a really satisfying level of tactical depth for strategy fans. The game loop is highly addictive thanks to constant character progression, gear optimization, and challenging boss encounters that encourage experimentation with different team setups. Visually, this one stands out as let's just say it's a gorgeous game. And the sounds inside of the game, the music that we have inside of Etheria Restart is top tier as well. Visually, auditorily, this game is probably one of the best on the entire list. Now, the game is primarily online focused with PvP modes, co-op content, live events, and competitive ranking systems, making it especially appealing for players who enjoy constantly evolving metas and long-term progression. Orna is a turn-based RPG which stands out because it combines turn-based RPG combat with real-world GPS exploration similar to location-based games. Players physically travel through the real world to discover monsters, dungeons, shops, and bosses. Combat itself is traditional turn-based RPG gameplay with deep class progression and extensive character customization. The retro pixel art style gives Orna a classic RPG atmosphere, while the ambient soundtrack creates a relaxing sense of adventure during the exploration sessions. The online functionality, it's one of the biggest strengths here, allowing players to join kingdoms, participate in wars, and conquer territories together. It's one of the most unique strategy RPG experiences available on mobile because it blends real-world exploration with classic fantasy gameplay. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is one of the most content-rich, turn-based mobile games ever made, especially for Star Wars fans. Players collect characters from every era of the franchise and build squads around iconic factions like the Jedi, Sith, Empire, and Rebels. The strategic depth comes from character synergy, turn order manipulation, and resource management during battles. The presentation perfectly captures the Star Wars atmosphere with authentic music, recognizable sound effects, and detailed character models. Watching Darth Vader fight or assembling a full clone trooper squad is incredibly satisfying for longtime fans. The game is highly online focused with guild raids, territory battles, and competitive PvP, forming the core endgame experience. And let's be honest, for Star Wars fans, this is most likely going to be your choice from the list, even though it's one of the older titles. Questland turn-based RPG is a more casual and accessible turn-based RPG that focuses heavily on loot collection, equipment upgrades, and dungeon progression. Combat is straightforward but satisfying, making it easy for new players to enjoy while still offering enough presentation systems to keep RPG veterans interested. The game features colorful fantasy environments and exaggerated armor designs that give it a playful style. Its audio design is light and adventurous, matching the game's approachable tone. Online guilds and social features are present, but the game can also be enjoyed casually as a solo RPG adventure focused on collecting gear and steadily just growing stronger. Astris is one of the most visually ambitious turn-based RPGs on mobile, and this one does have a $10 price tag that's worth noting. This one blends real-time movement and strategic command-based combat. Battles feel dynamic because the players actively time abilities and react during encounters instead of simply selecting commands and waiting. The game creates a strong sense of scale and immersion that feels closer to the console RPG than a typical mobile release. Its anime-inspired science fiction world is absolutely gorgeous, filled with futuristic cities, alien landscapes, and cinematic visual effects. The soundtrack is atmospheric and emotional, helping reinforce the game's mysterious interstellar setting. Astris is mostly a single-player experience, which actually helps it feel more focused and narrative-driven compared to many live experience service mobile games that really focus on playing against others. Abalon Roguelike Tactics CCG. This is a unique hybrid of tactical RPG combat and collectible card game mechanics. Every battle requires careful positioning, deck management, and strategic planning, making it one of the deepest strategy games on the list. The roguelike structure means every run feels different, encouraging experimentation with new builds and party combinations. The hand-painted fantasy art style gives the game a distinct tabletop RPG feeling, while the soundtrack leans heavily into atmospheric fantasy themes. Since much of the experience is focused on single-player progression and roguelike runs, it works extremely well offline. The combination of card mechanics and tactical combat makes it especially appealing to hardcore strategy fans looking for something different. Reverse 1999, this is one of the most creative and stylistically unique turn-based RPGs on mobile and on today's list. The game mixes time travel storytelling with card-based tactical combat where players combine and upgrade abilities mid-battle for stronger effects. Its combat system rewards planning and efficient resource use, giving fights a satisfying strategic rhythm. What truly makes the game stand out, though, is the incredible presentation. The watercolored inspired art direction, surreal character designs, and haunting soundtrack create an atmosphere unlike anything else on mobile. The English voice acting and strange, mysterious narrative help the game feel sophisticated and memorable. It's primarily an online game due to its live service structure, but the story-driven experience feels closer to a premium narrative RPG than a traditional MOBA gacha game. So there's a few on today's list that I really do like. Reverse 1999 is one of them. I really did enjoy my time inside of the game when I was trying it out, testing it out. It definitely just kind of stood out. But it's not one of my top two. My number two favorite is actually Knighthood. There is just such a good, casual, fun experience that you feel when you play this game. I personally love that you're taking care and building up one character and building up his gear, his gauntlets. And then you have other heroes behind you that you don't really control in the same way, giving Knighthood a different feel from all of the other games on the list. But it's not my number one. My number one was actually from the sponsored segment of today's video, and it's a game that I play every single day for the past 2 years. I have another YouTube channel called Echo Raid Shadow Legends. And yeah, Raid Shadow Legends, as much hate as the game gets, it is so much fun to play. It has so much depth, and it really is available for all players. If you want to download the game, I mean, my QR code's up there on the screen and my link is in the description. Feel free. I just have a great time with it. If you want to see what I do, just come check out the other channel and we can hang out over there. Hope you guys found this list valuable. I'll see you guys in the next one.